Finally got our team up movie that we've been waiting for, folks. Deadpool and Wolverine finally hit the big screens, and the best way to describe this movie in one word: fun. I had a blast seeing this in theater. My fiance really loved this movie. This movie is just fun, start to finish. Ryan Reynolds reprising his role as Deadpool, Hugh Jackman returning as Logan and Wolverine. These two characters and people, they were just born to play these roles. I cannot see another actor playing the role of Deadpool or Wolverine. Hopefully Hugh Jackman returns for some future installments with, X-Men coming back into the MCU. But they did so well together. This movie actually blew me away at how funny it was. This is right up there with Ragnarok. Right from the beginning, we have probably the best opening scene to an MCU movie. Deadpool's openings have always been good, but this one is it's spectacular, folks. The use of Instinct's Bye Bye Bye, along with Ryan Reynolds fighting off these TVA agents, and just how comical it is, how goofy and campy it is, but also really unique and well designed. The way they had used Logan's body from the ending of Logan, he's dead, decomposed. Ryan Reynolds takes his skeleton, is using the adamantium parts and bones like ribs, hands, and everything to kill these TVA agents. When it goes into slow motion and is showing like the part of the bone of the adamantium, and they have like the who's directed by and the cast and everything, so creative, so well done. This was my favorite opening scene to an MCU movie. It is fantastic, and it has basically brought back the hype for Instinct. I think Bye 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 is now like charting top listened to songs on like Spotify and all sorts like listening platforms. It's amazing how well they did that opening scene. We are going to get into some spoilers, so I just wanted you all to know that, so be prepared. We already spoiled the beginning for you, but I will talk about spoilers. We're going to be talking about the cameos in this movie. If you have yet to see this movie, you need to go see it. It is so worth it, and the amount of cameos we're about to talk about in this is a lot. So be ready. Deadpool is trying to be somebody. He feels like he's a nobody. Vanessa kind of left him because he's done nothing with his life. He hung up the Deadpool, suit. He's working as a car salesman. He doesn't feel like he's getting anywhere in life. The Avengers won't take him in, and he just kind of goes down a path of depression. Comes in contact with the TVA. They bring him in to help, they want to cut off his timeline, kill everybody in his universe, because their anchor person, who is Wolverine, died, and this anchor person is tied to a universe's timeline. It helps keep the timeline sacred and straight and narrow, blah 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 blah. Nothing we haven't seen before with TVA. Are you sick of seeing TVA? Yes, but here we are again. So in that aspect, Deadpool goes to find a Wolverine. He goes to multiple different timelines, and we get so many different variants of Wolverine. This was fantastic. Some of the ones they've done from the comics, the one where he's fighting the Hulk, the weird one where he's hanging up on an X that looks like a cross with skulls all around him, that was wild. The big one that everybody's gonna be excited for, Henry Cavill as Logan, looked phenomenal. The cavalry scene was amazing, and if they were to ever pivot and go from somebody that's not Hugh Jackman, Henry Cavill would crush the role. The jokes they laid in here, telling him that, hey, Marvel will take care of you, don't worry about DC, was hilarious, and it was just a great little scene for all these Easter eggs. Eventually we come to Hugh Jackman, and one of the ones that Deadpool does get. TVA starts laughing. It's like, this is the worst Wolverine you could have picked out of any timeline. Then we have our little buddy cop, action ensues. We go into the place called the Void. You meet up with some of the Easter eggs that were spoiled in the trailer. Thank goodness I didn't watch the trailer because I wanted to be surprised. And we get, starting off, we get Sabretooth from the Fox X-Men movies. We get Toad is in here. Juggernaut is in here. Your big bad is Cassandra Nova, which I don't really know much about Cassandra Nova, so I know she's like a twin of Charles Xavier's in one of the timelines, but her powers were really cool. She was okay as a villain. I thought they could have done better, but it's alright. I'm not going to gripe too much about it. One of the big cameos we get, though, we get Chris Evans, and he comes in as the Human Torch. It's kind of funny how they do it. You think he's coming in as Captain America. He does a superhero landing. You see some colors on him where you see the red, white, and blue. You think it's Cap, but it's not. He says flame on, turns into the Human Torch. And I find this hilarious because if you were with me for my Robert Downey Jr. being casted as Dr. Doom video, I'll go ahead and here's a little snippet from that. Black Widow, or characters that are done like Steve Rogers, they can basically just hit a reset button, bring them back in. I went and said that Disney is probably going to bring Chris Evans in some way, somehow, as the Human Torch, because now they can use all these timelines, all this stuff to bring in different variants. I just thought it was funny before I saw this movie. I said that, and then bam, here it is. Chris Evans, by the way, he is just so funny in certain roles. Like, he does great as Johnny Storm in this. I love when he's not just playing Captain America and, you know, trying to be a stoic, like, here for the people type character, because he's really good at comedic timing. He's good at being a smartass, and I think he just fits so well. That scenes with him were awesome. His death scene when Deadpool outs him to Cassandra Nova is kind of gruesome. Was not expecting that. Definitely earns that R rating in this film. That was really well done. The film altogether, plot is a little messy, yeah, but I don't really care. If you go in here expecting a Deadpool movie, that is what you're getting. You're getting comedy. It's funny. And multiple times I laughed out loud in the theater, and it's very hard for me to do that. The scenes where Hugh Jackman's taking it more of a serious approach, and you need to like get some emotional attachment between him and other characters. Hugh Jackman does a very good job. This movie isn't like Logan, where it's like character building and it's like just phenomenal acting and storytelling through and through. This movie's not like that, but there are scenes where Hugh Jackman's doing that, and it is done wonderfully. Speaking of that, we have X-23 from Logan in here. Daphne King reprising her role as X-23. The scene with them sitting down at a campfire while Logan is drinking and all down in the dumps, very well done. We get Elektra in this movie. Jennifer Garner reprises her role as Elektra. Wasn't expecting that. That was awesome. We got Channing Tatum as Gambit. Finally, what? It's felt like over a decade since we heard rumors that Channing Tatum was gonna play in a Gambit movie. I thought Channing Tatum did really good. His Creole Cajun accent, is it a little over the top? Yes, but it fits this movie so well. Channing Tatum did awesome. He was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. He did a great job as Gambit. Comic book accurate costume, looked great. Albeit Channing Tatum's head is just a little on the bigger side, so it did kind of look a little goofy, but it was okay. He did fantastic. I hope they bring him back in an X-Men movie. The big one for me, the cameo I got most excited about, had no clues was going to happen, was Blade. It was back. Wesley Snipes trying to kill mother truckers that are still ice skating uphill. Fantastic. I could not believe they brought him back. Some of the banter between him and Ryan Reynolds as a joke that's been going on from Blade. The third movie, was it called Blade Trinity? Hilarious. Done so well. The big action scene with all of them was done very well. Had a lot of fun with it. One of the best scenes in the movie, when the action hits, when Logan and Deadpool fight in this Honda Odyssey van, and they start playing the song from Grease. It is hysterical. The fight choreography is done so well. The soundtrack in this movie altogether is so good. This is probably the best they've done. This is right up there with like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 for me. The way they incorporate the music into this movie was done so well. Logan gives this monologue to Deadpool that actually makes the merc with the mouth shut up and makes us, like, your jaw drops after he gets done with it, because he hit him heavy. Some low blows said in there, but it was hysterical. Overall, what I thought of the movie, like I said, this movie, so much fun. If you haven't seen it in theaters, please go do yourself a favor and go see it. It is one of the MCU's best movies up to date, if you ask me. Plot messy? Yeah. Are you going to be expecting people to win awards for this? No. Are you tired of seeing some of the same plot lines that did TVA? Mm-hmm. But the cameos, the humor, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman just bouncing off each other perfectly in their roles as Deadpool and Wolverine was fantastic. I mean, I really don't know what else to say, folks. Like, to give my rating for this movie, I'm actually going to go ahead and give this a 10 out of 10. I do not give 10s very often. I don't give perfect scores very often. This one, although with its flaws, I had so much fun. I want to go see this again. I will definitely be buying the Steelbook version of this. This was so well done. Great movie. Great summertime flick. If you're into the Deadpool comic and the lore and the comedy and all that, it's going to hit every button you need it to hit. Perfect score for me. Go ahead and go see this movie. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Coda's Cove. If you like this content, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and hey, Be a friend, tell a friend to come on down to the cove because the water is fine, baby.